Hey friends, welcome back again this week as we are touring the places of Easter. Little did I know that Easter is not about Easter egg hunts and candy, although I still love the Reese's eggs. But Easter has a much bigger meaning. So last week we went to the Garden of Eden where we saw where it all began, the very beginning. And we got to see how perfect of a place that God had created for the animals, for Adam, for Eve, and was supposed to create for us. But then because of sin, something else happened. So go ahead and grab your passports again because I see tour guide Jenny coming and she is about to take us somewhere else. Oh, here she is. Hey, tour guide Jenny.
Hey, Jamie, are you ready to go?
I am. Where are we heading this week?
Friends, do you have your passports?
I got mine.
All aboard. Okay, are we ready to travel? Well, this week, I'm not going to tell you right now. I want you to put your thinking caps on. And friends at home, I want you to think about this as well. Last week, I told you that the next place we were going to was when and where the Savior would be born.
Okay.
And so if you remember back to the Christmas story, there was a certain city that Jesus would be born in. Do you remember?
So, see, here's the thing. So, at Christmas time, I had to interview all these different people because, I love Christmas, but I found out that it's a lot bigger than just the presents and the Christmas carols and the Hallmark movies and all of that kind of stuff. So, I had to interview all these different people. And I remember I interviewed Mary, and I interviewed Joseph, and I interviewed some angels and a wise men and a shepherd, but I just can't remember where they all were.
Well, hopefully our friends at home remember the city that Jesus was born in. I know where Jesus was born. So on the count of 3, friends, can you shout out with me? And hopefully that's where we'll end up.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa! It is very dusty here.
Very dusty and very dark.
Yeah.
Do you know where we are yet?
I don't, but I see a star.
Yep,
I
stars
see
in
a
the sky. Little city over there.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
Friends, do you guys know at home? That's right. We are in the city of Bethlehem, the town of Bethlehem.
Well, so why is Bethlehem important?
Well, last week we started with the Garden of Eden, where everything was perfect until Adam and Eve sinned. And then I told you that we were in need of a Savior, and that would be Jesus. And the reason we're in Bethlehem now is because that's where Jesus was born. So, his earthly father, Joseph, who was supposed to marry his mom, Mary, there was a census to be taken, and they had to be counted in their hometown. So Joseph and Mary had to travel all the way to Bethlehem because that's where they had to be counted.
Wow.
And so when they were in Bethlehem, the time came for Jesus to come, to be born.
Well, what would it have been like at the time of the census? That sounds kind of like a lot happening.
Yes, very crowded. Bethlehem was overflowing with people. There were so many people here. You couldn't find a room anywhere.
That makes sense. I remember Mary talking about how they got here and how they looked everywhere for a place to stay and nobody could offer them any sort of room. So they ended up like in a barn.
They did. We're actually going to end up there a little bit later to go visit baby Jesus. But yeah, they ended up in a stable. And Jesus came, and his first bed was a trough, a food trough, where animals eat out of. That's how much he loved us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is really a neat place to visit, and I'm excited to be here at the time where I get to see like where Jesus was born. But I guess I'm confused.
Okay.
Because that was the Christmas story, which I already interviewed people from Christmas. So I guess I don't understand how Bethlehem then plays into what I'm supposed to be learning about Easter. That's about Christmas.
It is, but Bethlehem is where Jesus was born. And remember, I talked about restoring that perfect relationship with God, that the only person that could do it was a perfect person? Well, that perfect person is Jesus. He came to earth to start his earthly life in Bethlehem. So right here in Bethlehem is where Jesus was born, starts his earthly life, lives, grows up just like you and I did, and then gets a group of people together called the disciples, and he's performing miracles to show that he is God, and then eventually has to go do something. And that's where we're going to travel next week.
Oh, but before we get there, friends, make sure you guys take your passports. In one of the empty squares, go ahead and write Bethlehem. so that you can mark down that we came here to visit, and then you can put a sticker on it that shows that we have made it here.
How many of you like parades?
Oh, I love parades.
I love a parade. So next week, my friends, we are actually going to go join a parade.
Oh,
We are. I'm not going to tell you where, but I am going to tell you that you are going to need a palm branch.
so make sure you guys pack that in your luggage for next week's trip that we take.
We'll see you then.
Bye.